Hello YouTube folks, I'm back. You accidentally, as a result of my error, missed about 30 seconds of gameplay. And I know that that fact will tear you apart inside forever. I'm gonna level up. I'm thinking... I'm thinking 4 vitality is awful. I'm thinking I'm going to boost my vitality to 10 just right off the bat, which is still really low. Vitality ends up being a very important stat. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on your playstyle, but the way I like to play, vitality ends up being a very important stat. So you can have good armor. That should allow me to at least put on some of this Drangleic armor. Yes, I can wear the Drangleic pants now. Which you'll notice, like my previous pants gave me 35, 90, 35, 33, 35. These fucking a lot more armor. You can read the numbers yourself. What am I, your number reader? Am I on the 360? No, this is the PC version of the game. I also have the PS3 version, but right now I'm playing it on PC. Yeah. Lost my train of thought. Okay, I can level up one more time. I'm thinking about getting some more vigor, just because my HP is pretty crappy. Yeah, might as well do that. Can never have too much health. We're going to go on a journey now. We're not going to be teleporting for once in my life. Well, not for once. There's actually quite a few occasions in which I don't teleport, but we're going to go over here. Go this way. And go to a considerably more challenging area than the previous areas in which we've already adventured. We're going to see some old friends. For those of you who played Dark Souls 1, we are going to commit brutal murder. Just because that's what I do. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much sums up what's going to happen. But first, we must go down into the darkness. Oh man, I'm getting so wet now. I can't remember. I don't think there's anything up here, but I'm just gonna check. Wouldn't want to miss things. Missing things is bad. Get whatever this item is. Ah, yes, a broken sword and a soul. You know, I've actually got a lot of souls in my inventory. Could have used those to level up more, but it's too late now. Far too late. And here we are. The Tower of Flame. Pretty fucking dope looking, isn't it? This area also looks really good on the PS3, in my opinion. I know I've been talking about how much better this game looks and runs and stuff, but this was an area, even on PS3, where I came in here and I was like, this is a pretty cool place. This is pretty cool. I'm just going to run past this guy for now and go use this bonfire. So that if I should die, I will not be far back. However, I should not die. I should kill. I fucked it up a little bit. It's okay. So you notice these enemies are a lot more imposing than the little dudes I was fighting in the other area. This guy's kind of scary in comparison. It's alright though. I got what it takes to wreck him. Don't be afraid, children. This is not how your hero will be defeated. That'll come later, though. Sweet, cracked blue eye orb. And up here we will also find the covenant that I want to join, which is the one that allows me to, when somebody gets... This is going to take a bit of explaining, I just realized, for anyone who doesn't already know the series and its mechanics. But basically, you can be invaded by other players in this game. They come into your world, and they try and kill you. And they do this because they're jerks. And there's a covenant you can join where, when another player is invaded, you get summoned into their world to help them defeat the invading asshole. And that's the covenant I want to join. I just want to help people and be a big hero. The sort of bad thing about the Covenant is that not many people actually invade in this game. In Dark Souls 1, there was a lot of invasion, but on PS3 anyway, there's not a whole lot of that going on in Dark Souls 2. Sublime Bone Dust is a good item. We'll talk about that later when I actually use it. So you don't end up having much to do in this Covenant, really, but I just really like the idea of it, so I'm probably going to join it for that reason, as I did on PS3. I just really like it. I should not have picked that up just yet. Alright, this dude doesn't really follow you. Anyway, time to kill more giant knights. So this area, there's a place in Dark Souls 1 called Anor Londo. And this area totally, completely, really looks like it. And even the bosses in this area, there are a couple bosses here, and they're both kind of references to the Dark Souls 1 zone. So this whole thing, what I'm learning from this is that, and it's not really a surprise, there's also references to places from Demon Souls, the first game in the series, all things told, in this game and in Dark Souls 1. All these games take place in the same geographic area. And it just must be like fucking bajillions of years apart or something. I don't even know. Because there's all these little hints and stuff that they basically take place in the same area, but it's all different kingdoms with different names, they're different people, so like, the storyline, they're not really sequels in terms of having like a direct storyline connection one game to the next, but there's sort of this interconnected feeling. It's possible also that they don't actually take place in the same geographic area, but if you listen to the dialogue in this game, a lot of the characters talk about sort of parallel worlds, and that's the whole lore behind the invasions and stuff, is it's actually other people in parallel worlds. And so, ultimately, this whole game's a Bioshock Infinite tie-in. No, but so maybe these are just kind of like all sort of alternate versions or alternate realities of the same place. The most obvious thing is the area, the Valley of Defilement in Dark Souls 1, or Demon Souls rather, sorry, Blighttown in Dark Souls. I should have dodged or blocked. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm trying to talk here. Stop trying to murder me while I'm talking, jerk. Yeah, so you get the Valley of Defilement in Demon Souls and Blighttown in Dark Souls, and in this game you have the Gutter. And they're all really similar areas with really similar lore. Yeah, and there's also places like the Castle Zone from Demon Souls and the Castle Zones in both this game and in Dark Souls 1. There's a lot of similarities. Like, there's all these common ideas. And yeah, so what I sort of thought about that was that it's all taking place in the same world and in the same geographical location in that world, just, you know, thousands of years in between games, and a lot of fucked up shit goes down that kind of trashes everything each time. Or, yeah, like maybe it's something more sort of mystical or whatever than that. Oh, no! What a bad way to die. This is what happens when at least one of my enemies killed themselves after I died. This is what happens when I get distracted just talking about games instead of playing them. I mean, to be fair, that's normally the whole point of doing these Let's Play things, is my commentary. I mean, if you just wanted to see what the game was like, you'd play it yourself, right? But this is the kind of game that's pretty hard to play if you're not really focusing on what you're doing. Because things can go terribly wrong very quickly if you're not paying attention in Dark Souls. You get absolutely punished when you make errors in this game. And it's hard enough that if you're not paying attention, you will make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes will result in you falling off a cliff and drowning. Much like in real life, I guess, although like the likelihood that you just make a random error because you'd actually drown, I guess, would kind of depend on your profession. Like maybe if you're like a sailor. In my day-to-day life, it'd be pretty unlikely that I would drown. Personally. But, you know, some people live on a boat. That has certainly increased. No! Your odds of drowning. What the fuck am I even talking about? Well, he's dead. I think that's the most important thing here. I'm gonna drink beer. So this zone, this fight's really hard against these three dudes. The only way to make it... Why isn't this guy aggroing? This is kind of messed up. This dude should be coming to attack me by this point. Oh yeah, now they aggro. The way you make this a little bit easier for yourself, or at least the way I did this, was I just tried to kite out this one guy first and kill him. So that you don't have to fight all three at once. Which is really quite a pain in the ass. Fighting three of these giant dudes at once. You get knocked around real bad. It doesn't feel too good. You can just kind of kite one out at a time. Or kill this dude and then kill the other two, at the very least. You don't want to fight all three at once. That shit is nasty. This is a tough area. And there's nothing stopping you from coming to this area first. I mean, I could have come here before I went to the Forest of Fallen Giants and beat those bosses I already beat. This could have been the very first real sort of area I came to in the game. Had I gone what you could call the wrong way, I guess, but it's not really wrong. It's just much, much harder than going the other way first. That said, on my first playthrough of this, and on my first playthrough of Dark Souls, and on my first playthrough of Demon Souls, I never really did things in, like, the order. There's a certain order in all those games where and, like, the areas get steadily harder if you play them in a specific order. But you don't know what that order is unless you want to read guides. The game doesn't really give you any hints. So you just kind of go through in an order that makes sense to you, and a lot of times, if you don't have foreknowledge of the game, you'll find that you accidentally clear harder areas before clearing easier areas. And that's something I personally really like. It just, you know, not... Well, partly the fact that you can play the game out of order, if you will. Although, as I said, I'd more just consider them alternate orders of doing things. Just the fact that it doesn't hold your hand and guide you through, you know, every step of your journey, everywhere you should go, you know, tell you everything you should do. I think most games these days hold your hand way too hard. And that's something this series does not do. Just kind of shoves you into this world. Makes it really obvious that this world wants you to fucking die. Like, this world is hostile to your life. Everything here wants to kill you. And the things that don't want to kill you only don't want to kill you because they already have killed you. Or because you're currently so weak that they don't really see any point in killing you. That happens a couple times. Then they want to kill you later when you're stronger. And it's just like, well, here you go. Here's this terrible place where everyone wants to kill you. I hope you enjoy it. And that's how these games are played. And I do enjoy it. And that's how a lot of old games were, is the thing. They give you some... That's not... Like, a lot of old games would give you a bit more guidance than this does about what you're meant to be doing, but... There was also a lot more in those games left up to you to figure out than in most modern games. And I don't like that in most modern games, there's nothing that I have to figure out or learn or improve at or anything like that by myself. Everything is explained. Everything is told. A lot of things are straight up handed to you. Not a fan of that. Just... I don't like to play a game where I can turn my brain off completely and do perfectly fine. I like games where I have to use my brain at least a little bit in order to commit the brutal murders that I was born to commit. Do a little bit more luring here. As I was talking about the other day rather, when I was playing this, I think that's the thing with this game, is it's not an easy game, but it's also not brutally unfairly hard in the way some people would kind of describe. It's just a game that actually demands your attention and thought, and people aren't used to that anymore. When I think of games that are really hard, they're games where I feel like it's really strongly stacked against the player, and the game is really unfair in that way. This game never feels, to me, actually unfair, stacked against you in any meaningful, like, considerable way. It just is what it is, and you gotta figure the shit out for yourself. Just not the same thing. People don't know how to do that anymore because all the games these days that completely baby you. All in all, the best 3D Castlevania game ever made. And some of those 3D Castlevania games don't completely suck. Get wrecked, my friend. It's kind of funny in one way as well, because you do kind of want a mastery in this game. I mean, the first time through, I died so many times in this area. So many times, but... And that was even having played Dark Souls 1, so I knew sort of the basic ins and outs of the combat system. I knew more or less what I was doing. I just didn't know the area and the enemy attack patterns and stuff yet. But I'm now sort of breezing through this relatively easily. I died once, and that was because I got knocked into the water, not because the dude just straight up outfought me. It was not like this the first time. And when we start getting up to some areas that I haven't seen before, there's going to be a lot more death. The whole thing, though, is, yeah, I sort of gained mastery in these zones. I've already played through them a lot of times, so I kind of know what to do. I know what the enemy's attack patterns are going to be like. I like getting better at video games. Okay. And here we are, back again at the Cathedral of Blue. About to meet up with a dear old friend of ours. If you have played Dark Souls 1, we'll soon be encountering a good buddy But I think I'm done playing this for now. It's kind of late here. I should have started streaming earlier, but I got distracted. Oh, whoops! I meant to. Goodbye, YouTube.